Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool 3-slot gray Paystation, and this is John and Carla's telephone from Ohio, and they've got a note here. And they talk about how there's a key to the vault, but it opens both locks. So basically what's happened here is the lock in the body will open with anything. Somebody has broke that lock. And they have their vault lock and key, so that's cool. And they talk about in the letter that some wires had gotten broke, and so now that the telephone doesn't work properly, and it needs to be troubleshooted and repaired. And so this is the initial checkout of this telephone, and I've found a couple of other things that I want to go through on this payphone, but it is a gray, and of course it's in chrome, and it's a very cool telephone. Gray is one of the first pay stations that I believe he invented the whole idea, but basically it's a gray, and it's a really nice telephone. So what we're going to do in this initial checkout is go through a few things. Now, the first thing I noticed, there is no dial center card, and John and Carla may not want one, I don't know. But basically on this type of finger wheel, it would be a sticker. They used to just come up and stick the stickers on, and because there's no way to get behind the finger wheel, and that's actually where the screw is that mounts the finger wheel. So we can put a white sticker on, or some type of a logo or something on the dial if they prefer, and they can let me know that after they see the video, because that's one of the last things that we would have to do. The other issue is the dial doesn't return. See how slow and sluggish that is? Now it may return a little bit on its own. You don't want to force these back the other way, but I'm going to help it out a little bit. Just give it a little, and then I'm going to go ahead and dial a 0. And it's barely returning. So it's going to take a long time for that to come back. So right off the bat, basically we know we have to go into the rotary and clean the rotary, repair it, oil it, adjust it, see what's going on with the rotary. So that'll be one part of the repair that we need to do. The other issue is we have to troubleshoot and locate the wires that John is talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the top of the telephone, and I want to set this to the side gently, because what we have here is the plug area where the connection is made for the telephone. And we're going to have to go through that and make sure. I see some wires here, but some of these wires go up into the mechanism for the coin return, for the coin validator. And they wouldn't necessarily need to be connected for this telephone to work properly. Now, when I get into this and troubleshoot it, will I find something that needs to be repaired wire-wise? I might, but it just depends at this time. When I get into it, we'll go through that. What I was a little more concerned with was, if you notice on this PC board, see how that plug is loose? It's just swiveling back and forth. I'm a little more concerned with that being broke back at the solder connections on the back of the PC board. So we want to go through that and make sure that that's soldered, and we are going to stabilize this plug. What's supposed to happen here is there's supposed to be a large washer on each side or one side, and a bolt and nut gone through to stabilize this. Because what happens when people try to pull the body off and the plug is still attached, this is the kind of thing that happens. It loosens up the plug that goes to the PC board. So we want to check that. The other issue is I'm not real sure about the coins dropping all the way through, because they say the coins do not fall incorrectly, and that might be a typo. But they say the coins do not fall incorrectly, and some of the wires are broken to make the telephone work properly. Well, the telephone's not going to work properly if the rotary doesn't work properly, and we have to go through and troubleshoot and find out what's going on with the wiring and the issues why it has no dial tone. The other issue is there is a line cord on this telephone. John wants to keep it. It's been on there this long, and so he wants to keep it. Usually when we convert these payphones, we install a modular port here, and you can simply walk up to the telephone and plug any line cord any length that you want into. And why we do that is in case something happens to this line cord that's been on it for looks like a long time. If anything happens to this, they're going to have to come into the telephone and repair it at the board. And if something happens to a line cord after we have a modular port installed, they can simply just unplug the line cord. But we're not going to worry too much about the line cord. It's been on the telephone this long. John wants to keep it, and we'll go with that. So what we're going to do is take a short break from the video, and we're going to go ahead and troubleshoot. Now, one more issue is we need to make sure that the coins are dropping through. And a lot of times they will, except for the nickels will hang up. So we have to go through that and make sure the coins are actually dropping through. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we have the main PC board loose from the backboard now. And as I suspected, what we have here, and you probably can't see it, but the solder on the pins are all broken free. There's a couple of them that are still holding, but most of them are broke free. And so this is just moving back and slapping back and forth too much. What we're going to do is we're going to modify this board a little bit. We're going to go ahead and drill some holes through so we can mount this pin connector down to the board so that it's not just flopping around after we resolder it. Because it's not going to do us any good to resolder this and then leave it flopping around so that the next time the plug gets pulled on, it'll just rip it from the board. So we're just going to go ahead and make a couple holes. And that will enable us now to modify this board a little bit so that this plug is sturdy to the board and it won't come loose again, and we won't have to worry about that again. And then once we get that taken care of, then we're going to start troubleshooting out the wiring issue and kind of go from there. But we have to get this part of it soldered first, and we want to do that. And basically, we could go ahead and tack that solder right now. I want to go ahead and clean my soldering gun. And we'll go ahead and solder these up real quick. I want to get plenty of solder on here, and each one of them. Okay, so that takes care of that. And what we're going to do is go ahead and take a short break now. Now it's not so bad, and we're going to go ahead and mount this to the board, the socket here, and get that taken care of. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with the telephone part of the repair. This telephone is a working telephone now, and basically what I'm going to do is go ahead and lift the receiver, give you some dial tone. Then I want to reach over. If you watch the analyzer, I'm just going to spin the rotary, and you can see that it dialed out. Now I want to transmit. Watch that red light on the analyzer. Every time I transmit, you'll see that red light. That's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. I'm going to go ahead and hang up. The analyzer shut down. I want to pick the telephone up. It sees the line. Give you some dial tone. But that's not the issue. Right now what we're working on, the rotary's been gone through and that's been repaired. All the problems with the telephone on the main PC board and the plug has been stabilized and repaired. I suspected that the money did not drop through this unit properly, and if you look in this area right here, this coin validator has been abused. It's been massacred right in this area, and that's for the nickels. And why it's hanging up in that area is because for some reason something must have been stuck in here at some point, a nickel or something, and they've kind of abused the coin validator. And I'm going to show you here with a quarter. I'm going to take a quarter and it's going to drop out. It's going to hit the gong once. Now I'm going to do a dime. It's going to ring the bell twice. Now I'm going to take a nickel and it's going to hang up right in this area where somebody's chopped on it and abused it. And now the nickel is stuck. So now what we need to do is I need to go ahead, I'm going to push the nickel through, and it rang the bell once. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to have to repair the coin validator so that the money falls through. And usually it's always a problem with the nickels, but that's more up in this area where it had some sensors that would catch the nickel. And in this case, they're hanging up in this area, but it's been abused and beat on and cut on, and so now we have to straighten that out where the nickels will drop through, and then all the money will drop down into the coin vault area. So we're going to take a short break, and I'm going to work on that, and we'll be right back. And we'll do our final checks then. Okay, we're back now, and I have finished up working on the coin validator and straightening out what had been kind of beat on and a little bit abused and massacred on this coin validator in the nickel area. And what we're going to do is, I've got some quarters here, and I want to go ahead and drop a quarter through, which is going to hit the gong once. Drop another quarter in. I'm going to drop a dime in, which will ring the bell twice. One more dime. We're going to stop the ringing. Now, in the earlier part of the video, we've got about 4 nickels here. We're going to show you the nickel's going to ring the bell once and drop through. Do one more. Do one more. Do another one. One more. And one more. So now we can be assured that the money will drop through. The last check we want to do is when we put the coin validator back into the body, we want to make sure that the coins are lining up with the coin slots on the validator. And as long as that happens, we're good to go. If not, we'll have to make some adjustments, and then we'll repair that part of it. But we're going to take a short break, put everything back together again, and then we're going to do our final checks. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with this telephone. So basically what we want to do now is our final checks, and we're going to go ahead and answer the telephone because we can't ring this telephone. There's no bell in it, and John did not want a bell, or he has some other kind of bell situation already or something to that effect. So now we'll just go ahead and answer the telephone. I'm going to give you some dial tone. If you watch the analyzer, we'll walk through our numbers. You'll notice that the rotary is a lot more smooth and it's returning properly. I'm going to end in a 2. I'm going to go ahead and transmit into the handset. So if you watch this red light on the analyzer, that red light, like earlier before in the video, is an indication of 100% modulation on transmit every time I modulate. Hello, hello. So we know the telephone is receiving, transmitting, it's dialing out. Let's go ahead and move the telephone over to a regular line. We can get this plugged in here. Go ahead and give you some dial tone. I'm going to call it time and temp.
Good afternoon. 2 Ford stores, 1 great company. Offenburg Ford, a short drive to great value. Today is Wednesday, January 9th. The time is 4:56. Current temperature at 59 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Showers likely tonight, chance of a thunderstorm, lows around 40. Thursday, occasional showers, chance of a thunderstorm, highs around 60.
Okay. We can call one other number. We can call my number and it'll be busy. Give you some dial tone. Okay, so now that we know that this telephone has been repaired, we're also going to go ahead and drop some money into the vault area, and we're going to drop a quarter, so that's going to gong. We want to drop a dime, that's going to ring the bell twice. We're going to drop a nickel, that's going to ring the bell once. And if you remember earlier in the part of the video where the coin validator had been kind of worked on and cut on, that has been straightened out, and now our nickels are dropping all the way through. Here's another nickel. We're going to do another quarter. We'll do a dime. And what I want to do is I want to open the vault area, and you'll see the coins maybe drop down through. Here's a nickel. Here's a quarter. Here's another quarter. Here's a dime. And one last nickel. So we know that the change is dropping down into the vault area. We'll go ahead and take some of it out here. And the rest of it is in the vault area. So this is a very cool gray Paystation. And this is John and Carla's telephone from Ohio. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6600. 6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.